Hello, welcome back to my channel. I am here doing a Storytime series, and this is number 8 in that series. So if you have missed the first 7, you definitely are going to want to go back and watch them. They're only 10 minutes each. So we are now in the summer of 2020, and my husband is accusing me of having affairs with everyone under the sun. This has actually been going on for about a year at this point. The previous summer, shortly before our trip to Disney, is when I had started, I had gotten back in contact with this friend of mine via, my other friend. And anyway, it was not a good situation. Honestly, that whole situation was bad on my part as well. Like, this guy was a mess, and I should have just left the whole situation alone. But at that point, I mean, whatever, it is what it is. Can't go back and change that now. But so in August of 2020, there was a night where my sister wanted me to come to her house and play cards, and my husband did not want me to go because of all the cheating that I was doing. So I told him, I'm going to my sister's, I'm going to play cards, I want to get the kids out of here. It was such a tense situation at home that any chance that we could get out of there, we were going to. Like, they were kind of starting to allow smaller get-togethers, and it wasn't going to be a ton of people. We were literally just going to go play, like, I think Cards Against Humanity or something. And my husband was, screaming and yelling at me, fighting with me, demanding to know if I loved, like, my 2 friends more than him. And I was like, at this point, kinda, yeah. Like, I kind of might love the mailman more than you. Like, you're really stressing me out, buddy. And like I said, I had emotionally checked out back in 2016, so I was kind of snarky with him. And I wasn't the kindest, and I was fed up because all he did all day long was accuse me of cheating on him with every single person ever. Didn't matter who they were. I was sleeping with them, and I was done. And so he ended up disabling my van. He took something off of, I don't know, probably a spark plug. I don't know cars. Maybe just disconnected the battery. Anyway, I couldn't leave. So I called my sister and I'm like, hey, he disabled the van. I can't go anywhere. And she's like, you want me to come pick you up? I'm like, I don't think that'll help the situation. I'm good. So eventually he ends up putting the piece back on the van or doing whatever it is and just tells me I can go. So I'm like, good. So the kids and I get in the car. We go to my sister's. We play cards. We're having fun. I don't drink, so it's not like I was drinking or anything. I was completely sober. My sister had just bought a camper. Her and her boyfriend had just bought a camper. And so at one point, her boyfriend was like, hey, come check out the camper. And I'm like, oh, yeah, absolutely. So we go in there. We're checking out the camper. We're looking at it. It's cool. I tell him, this is a great camper. It's really nice. I'm pretty sure that that's where they were, like, smoking at that point, because they didn't smoke in the house. So, because my nephew has asthma. So we go back inside, and eventually I'm like, all right, kids, it's getting late. Let's go home. So we pile back in the van, and we drive home. We get back home, and my husband was down in the basement. It was kind of late, so I put my 9-year-old on the couch. Told him, actually, he might have been 10 at that point. No, he was 9. Yeah, he was 9. So I lay him on the couch. I tell him, go ahead and go to bed. He wanted to sleep downstairs. And so I was like, all right, you sleep on the love seat. I'll sleep on the couch. So I get him all tucked in on the love seat. I get on the couch, and we're laying down. Next thing you know, my husband's upstairs, and he's waking me up, and he's demanding to know, like, I can't remember what he was asking me. If I'm in, I don't remember if he was asking me if I was in love with my friend, or if I cared more about his feelings than, like, my friend's feelings than his feelings. And I was like, what? Like, what on earth are you saying? He's like, oh, you can't even answer the question. And I'm like, it's like 2 a.m. Why are you waking me up? And next thing you know, he's like on me, like on either side of me. He's got his hands on either side of my neck, and he's like inches from my face, screaming in my face. So that wakes up my poor 9-year-old, and he calls 911. And they're freaking out, and they're crying. They don't know what's going on. You know, my oldest has a bedroom downstairs, so he's coming out, and he's like, what is happening? So he's like trying to protect my brother, or his brother. My middle son's upstairs, and he's, you know, all upset, and everybody in my house is awake now and upset, and he's screaming at me. He's in my face. The police come, and they're like, you guys need to leave. This is a domestic problem. And I'm like, what do you mean we need to leave? He tells me and my children need to pack up and leave the house. He says, it's not a crime to yell at your wife. And he tells us, we can just go. He tells me, don't tell him where you're going. Turn your location off on your phone. Don't go to a family's house. Go somewhere where he's not going to be able to find you. And I'm like, I'm sorry, what? And this is, like I said, like 2 o'clock in the morning. So I'm like, okay. So I get in my car, and I text my sister to see if she's still awake, and she was. And I call her, and I'm like telling her what's going on, and she's like, just come back to my house. And I'm like, I can't come to your house. The cop told me not to go to a family member's house. So I'm calling all these hotels, and I'm trying to find a hotel where my kids and I can go. And I'm freaking out, trying to figure out what to do. And finally, the kids are like, can we please just go to Aunt Tracy's? And I'm like, fine, we'll go to my sister's. So I call my sister, and I'm like, never mind, we're just going to come to your house for the night. She's like, you know, I've got a big dog, you know, my boyfriend's here, you know, her boyfriend lived with her. She's like, it's going to be fine. So we go there, we sleep on her couch. Actually, my kids slept in her son's room, because I don't think he was home, or if he was home, he just let all the kids, you know, crash with him. And we go to sleep there. And we're thinking, oh my gosh, like, this is surreal. I cannot believe this is happening. Like, what in the heck? So at this point, we're not really sure what on earth just happened. Like, he lost it. He, you know, attacked me, and the police literally told us, too bad, so sad. Time for you to leave, and made my children and I flee our house. So we had turned off all of our locations, so he didn't know where we were. And he posted on Facebook, like, tonight my wife left me for another man. You know, this is what I get after all, what'd he say? Like, after all the blood, sweat, and tears I've put into, she's trying to kick me out of my own house and, you know, move this new man in. And so I commented on it, and I was like, are you insane? You physically attacked me, and the police made me leave. And so, of course, he deleted his whole status, because, you know, I don't know why he didn't think that I was going to see it. Maybe he assumed that I was too busy doing whatever. But yeah, he twisted it into I had left of my own accord to leave him for another man. And obviously that was not at all how that situation happened. So I'm at my sister's house at this point, and the kids and I are just like, okay, you know, we're going to bed. This is insane. So we did. We went to sleep, and then the next morning, that's when what was really going on finally came out, which I'm sure you guys have already guessed by now, way back in the furnace episode. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, and in the next video we'll get into to what happened. So please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Go ahead and catch up on the videos if you're new to this, because otherwise you're not going to have a clue what on earth is going on or how we got to this point. And I'll see you next time. Bye.